Frank Uyeda is a triathlete who rides up to 100 miles per week, part of his 6-day-a-week training regimen of cycling, swimming, and running to compete for UC San Diego nationally. He's also a stiff competitor in computer engineering. After graduating in June, Uyeda spent the summer doing research on Calit2's Optoputer grid networking project.
At the current rate, your networking bandwidth is going to overtake your computing bandwidth very soon. So we're looking at what happens when you have these high-speed optical networks.
Uyeda is one of over 75 undergraduates selected to do some research at UCSD as Calit2 scholars since 2001.
And so this is the shutter. Right now it's closing the sample.
Matt Ganjian got the nod as a freshman to work in a physics lab, depositing thin films of aluminum on silicon to create masks for so-called nanodots, tiny pillars that can be used as sensors.
If you have all these pillars, you can have each of them having a separate task. You can have one integrated sensor instead of having multiple ones.
Sensors also the focus of chemistry and biochemistry graduate student Jamie Link. She recently won the grand prize in the National Collegiate Inventors Competition for her work on smart dust.
Part of my contribution was to miniaturize the sensors and make them into this dust-sized form. And so that was interesting because now it opened up a whole new range of applications. You know, something becomes smaller, you can put it into smaller places.
Link was in the very first class of Calit2 Fellows, all graduate students, some 140 so far, supported by the Institute and its industry partners who put a premium on interdisciplinary research.
In the process of developing it even, I've worked with people in optics and in biology and in engineering.
We've been working very closely with teams in the cognitive science department as well as psychology.
His graduate fellowship put Joel McCall in the driver's seat, literally, for his PhD in electrical engineering due this year. Together with Ofer Ockler and An Wen, both former Calit2 undergraduate scholars, McCall has worked on technologies that harness cameras and other sensors on board cars, feeding video streams to computers in the trunk to monitor what's happening inside the car and out on the road.
And using that information, we can try to alert the driver if there's a critical situation that it's about to occur, like a car cutting in, or if he's drowsy and starting to fall asleep and needs to be woken up or alerted to something.
Calit2 was created to keep California on the cutting edge and provide benefits to society. Students do both. As a Calit2 fellow, structural engineer Mike Gebman helped develop technology that reduces the cost of reinforcing foundations in soil.
After that fellowship, I had no problem, having funding because I had already started working on these two Caltrans funded projects. So, the Caltrans will most likely carry me all the way until I'm done with my PhD.
Undergraduate scholar Kevin Loki is a mechanical engineer working on RoboPogo. The one-legged hopping robot could one day navigate a Martian terrain or do search and rescue better than today's robots with their wheels or tracks. It can now jump 7 inches, up from half an inch before. Calit2 also pointed Loki in a new direction for grad school.
I'm actually becoming interested in information technology applied to robotics. For example, developing robots that can be used as maybe nodes for wireless sensor networks.
Congestion zone, 15 north, carpool lane south of Ted William Parkway, 17 miles per hour.
Nick Hill did his senior design project in electrical engineering on Calit2's Cyber Shuttle, the world's first regular bus service offering riders high-speed wireless access even at 65 miles per hour. After graduation, Hill was hired full-time to help develop the wireless traffic report, which let San Diegans phone in to get customized real-time traffic information for their daily commute.
And one of the things I find I like the best about some of the work we do here is it's used. It's used like this traffic report is used by the San Diego public.
The people who are heading up Calit2 and the new media part and the web part really want to push the technological envelope.
Visual arts grad student Tim Jager is also on the Institute's payroll. He's doing web and graphic design for the Institute while spearheading a project to recycle spam email into computer art. His partner on that project, Alex Dragulescu, also helped create interactive animations of the Institute's new San Diego headquarters, now nearing completion, and he's excited about the building's new media arts wing.
It just gives the arts community here a dedicated space where there will be all kinds of performances and art events that address the technologies.
Kameshwari Chibrolu is finishing her PhD and says the Institute's industry partners such as Ericsson and Qualcomm play a critical role in student research.
It brought with it the industrial experience, so it always feels good to implement one's own work. It gives a lot of credibility to your work and it is more satisfying.
Ezekiel Basker was 15 when he arrived at UCSD and landed the first of 2 consecutive Calit2 summer scholarships. Basker says the Institute was a selling point when he picked UCSD over Caltech, UC Berkeley, and other campuses. Now at the ripe old age of 18, the computer engineering and physics major is applying to grad school and says the Institute again will influence what he does next.
I recently got interested in computer vision and artificial intelligence because in Calit2 my algorithms work was starting to go in that direction.
One of the dreams of Calit2 is basically having an interconnected world.
Matt Clothier has been involved with the Institute as both an undergraduate scholar and a grad student working on augmented reality.
Basically kind of superimposing computer graphics through a head-mounted display on through what a person sees. Calit2 really pushed me. It really brought me along, really introduced me to a lot of new people, a lot of new technology, and I believe that it really helped broaden my horizons.
Indeed, the Institute has influenced hundreds of students directly, many more indirectly, and they in turn have left their mark on Calit2. Even before the Institute moves into its new headquarters in early 2005, the state of California and Calit2's 50-plus industry partners are already getting a return on their investment. The fresh ideas and strong research skills that characterize the students it's grooming to become leaders in tomorrow's multidisciplinary knowledge economy.